Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician and activist. In my Life is Like a Story podcast, I'm going to be sharing another message for this podcast. I've been sharing my Life is Like a Story podcast to inspire humanity to learn about Jesus Christ, Jehovah and Buddha. I've been sharing my Life is Like a Story podcast to inspire humanity to learn about faith, spirituality, faith and religion. I was sharing my Life is Like a Story podcast to inspire humanity to show more about who I am, my life story, my challenges and my difficulties and my spiritual life lessons I've learned on my journey. So my Life is Like a Story is basically a series of all my life lessons in a podcast and all of my teachings that I've learned along the way on my journey. So in today's podcast and audio, we're going to be talking about spiritual enlightenment. I'm just going to explain how I achieved spiritual enlightenment in my life and what it happened to me to get to this point within my life and how I am today. So basically, spiritual enlightenment came to me when I was very younger. I was about 24, 25 when I first experienced the spiritual enlightenment. Previous to 24 and 25, I was going through a lot of mental health difficulties like abuse in my childhood, suffering from broken relationships and partners, suffering from just like school, college, university. I was going through a lot of anxiety, stress, pressure, mental health difficulties, because I have mental health difficulties of schizophrenia, psychosis and depression. So my life was going in a negative direction and I was feeling very vulnerable, very depressed all the time. I wasn't very happy with my life, I wasn't very happy with my relationships, and my life was just going in a very, very negative direction for a very long time, between ages of 15 to about 23, 24. So my life was very, very difficult. I experienced a lot of overdoses, gang violence, struggles, suffering, blackouts, suicidal thoughts, overdoses, and I went through a lot of mental health difficulties as a young person. While I was experiencing all of these negative life experiences, I tried to find ways to help my life in different situations. So, I learned that I need to overcome my mental health difficulties and my challenges and find a way to get through this. So on the 30th of September 2014, I lost my home and all of my possessions in a fire, where my home got burnt down in a fire. I nearly lost my life that Pacific night. I was about 24 at the time. This completely transformed my life in every single way, because I never thought like that life experience would happen to me, and I never thought I would lose everything in such a dramatic way. And then I experienced mental health breakdown, mental health crisis and homelessness. So in the 30th of September 2014, I specifically became homeless, and then my life basically transformed. As I was going through the homelessness of mental health difficulties and challenges in Springfield Hospital, I met two people that helped me on my journey and my path. Their names were Paul Dorrington, a leading employment specialist, and Dr. Karen Michigan, a clinical psychologist. Now, at first, when I met Paul and Karen, I didn't understand spirituality, I didn't understand faith, I didn't understand spiritual change, and I didn't understand my life experiences. Then I met Paul Dorrington and Dr. Karen Michigan, who helped me when I was younger through all the homelessness and mental health crisis that I was experiencing. Once I received the support from Paul Dorrington and Dr. Karen Michigan, then I started to go on a spiritual journey and a faithful journey, because they helped me to find a belief in myself that I never had. Up until, like 15 to 23, I was very mentally depressed, clinically psychotic. I was basically insane with my mental health conditions, always committing suicidal thoughts, suicide ideation, self-harm, overdosing. So I was going through a lot of mental health difficulties and challenges. And then on my journey I met Paul Dorrington and Dr. Karen Michigan, and then my life slowly changed. I started to get back to the church, in my church, the Lighthouse Chapel International in Battersea, which is now called the Present Surprise Chapel International. I gave my life to Christ in a baptism when I was younger, about maybe 26, 25 at the time, and then I devoted my life to faith and spirituality. And as I started to go on the journey of discovering who I am after all the experiences that I went through a psychological change and a spiritual change, which I call spiritual enlightenment. And then I realized that my life experiences don't make me the individual of who I am. It's more what I've learned from it and how I process it and how I understand it. And then that's when I discovered the work of helping other people, giving back and making a difference, from Paul Dorrington and Dr. Karen Michigan. And then my life slowly changed. I started to help other people, give back, make a difference and a contribution. My life was about the contributions I made and not about myself. I wasn't angry or upset that I lost my home and all of my possessions in a fire. And then I started to go on the spiritual path of faith, spirituality, faith and religion. And then as I grew as a person and evolved as a person, I learnt more things along the journey, started to make videos, books, podcasts, audios and messages online, and then started to do my work in the mental health industry. At the moment I've worked in about 20 to 22 jobs within the mental health industry. I've had a very long career in mental health work for the last 12 to 13 years altogether. And then, my life slowly changed, and then I developed the 6 spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling and silence. And I developed the 7 levels of helping other people, which I learned along my journey. Level 1, volunteering, the good level in helping other people. Level 2, jobs, careers, employment, the great level in helping other people. Level 3, business, entrepreneurship, the highest level in helping other people. Level 4, faith and spiritual, the spiritual levels in helping other people. Level 5, spiritually helping other people, who helping other people, the teaching levels in helping other people. Level 6, spiritually helping other people to spiritually change, the spiritual change levels in helping other people. And level 7, spiritually helping other people in spiritual truth, the spiritual enlightenment levels in helping other people. So through my life experiences, through starting to develop my spiritual practices and doing the 7 levels of helping other people, I became spiritually enlightened as a human being and spiritually awakened. I'm not saying I've achieved the ultimate enlightenment, because I still have days when I suffer and I still have days when I go through pain and adversity. But what I've learned along my journey is that all my life lessons have made me who I am, but my life experiences don't make me the individual. It's what I've learned and understood and processed from those life experiences that made me who I am. And now I've discovered the know self, selflessness and know thyself. So that's a bit of my journey of the spiritual enlightenment that I've gone through. It has taken over 12 to 13 years to get to this point. I was 24 when I started to help other people, and now I'm 37, so that's a long time of just doing work and helping other people based on Paul Dorrington and Dr. Karen Michigan, my relationship in a spiritual way to Christian Naughty, and my relationship to my founder of my church, Sir Doug Hewitt Mills, who's all helped me on my journey. So thank you for listening, and just remember, we all have our own spiritual enlightenment to obtain and find within our lives. By going on a spiritual life journey of faith, spirituality, faith and religion, you can become who you want to be and live the life you want to live. So that's my journey, obviously, and in my journey as well, the spiritual change changed my psyche and my psychological mind to know self, selflessness and know thyself. So thank you for listening now. Take care now. Bye bye. I hope this has helped somebody. I hope you feel inspired from my story.